Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Welcome to our new show, Views from the 115. I'm Brandon Brogan, your host. Today we have a great show packed with full of fun and a lot of entertainment. First up, we have Pick a Side with Gallo Guerra and George Valdez.
On December 15th, 2017, the eighth installment of the Star Wars movie franchise was released to audiences worldwide. While critics praised the movie for its wonders, audiences seem to hold a different opinion. What's going on? Is the movie truly bad, or are people just overreacting? We're here to find out. Hi, my name is Gallo Guerra, and welcome to Pick a Side. Our official for today's debate will be Sean Brown. Sean, you got any words to say?
Yes, I do. Now, for everybody's enjoyment, we're going to flash the rules up for a quick minute so we can show you how the game will work. Splendid. Now, I hope we have a clean debate today, and I hope you guys have fun.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so I actually have a lot of problems with The Last Jedi, and I think the movie really fails in some areas. By no means is it a bad movie in terms of the movie as a whole. You know, it does have stunning visuals and grand spectacles, and even some of the space battles are really just gorgeous. But just because it's a Star Wars movie does not mean you can excuse some of these mistakes, you know, whether basic filming or just kind of more geared towards Star Wars that, you know, really kind of strain the movie and don't make it as good as it could be.
Well, that's where I disagree with that, because I feel like the potential of the movie was pretty much lived up to. You know, the movie was hyped up a lot, and Rian Johnson had a lot on his shoulders, and I feel like he lived up to it. Like the spectacles, like you said, the visual, and the storyline as well, with lots of branching arcs, like Luke Skywalker's coming of age kind of story, Rey and Kylo Ren. I feel like that was great.
Well, you can't deny that the story is good in some aspects, especially the dynamic between Rey, Kylo, and Luke, and how that all interplays between Rey being able to communicate with both Kylo and Luke and hear different sides of the same story. That's an amazing part of the story. But when you get to parts like the Canto Bight scene, or Rose as a character, or the whole side plot with Finn and Rose, which, to be honest, didn't really need to be part of the movie, is really kind of just to give those two characters screen time, you kind of see where the movie kind of falters when it, you know, when it came out.
I 100% agree with you with the Canto Bight scene. That was pretty bad. But let's just move past that, okay? I know it's like it takes a majority of the screen time, but you know, there has to be some character development in it. And like with Finn and Rose, yeah, I know it wasn't too great, but I feel like the rest of the storylines make up for it with Kylo Ren and Rey. Like I said before, I feel like them two, they did get the majority of the screen time, and I feel like the movie pretty much and the majority shines on them.
Well, you can't really look past the Canto Bight scene, because you know what? You need to look at the movie as a whole. And especially, like I said, just because it's a Star Wars movie doesn't mean you can excuse some of these mistakes. Even if the spotlight does stay mostly on Kylo, Ren, and Luke, you have to see that there are these problems with the movie that don't include them. And you can't just ignore that when you're trying to talk about how good the movie is.
Alright, so looking at the movie as a whole, that's where I think you're wrong, because currently you're just talking about the Canto Bight scene. And yeah, the Canto Bight scene was not that good. But if you're looking at the entire movie, like I said, as a whole, it was pretty great.
See, but I'm not focusing on just the Canto Bight scene. That's what I've mentioned, but there are a lot more problems with the movie. And I feel like, you know, the bigger problems kind of stem from plot points that I don't feel go where they could go, like Rey exploring the dark side of the island, or, you know, characters who just seem kind of very strangely written, like the Admiral who takes over for Leia, and I think the movie really is plagued by some of these problems.
Yes, with the plot points in any story, you have to deliver on plot points. But again, with J.J. Abrams switching on with Rian Johnson, that's gonna happen. But that's why I love the movie so much. Things like with the whole Rey thing, with her being a part of like a big scheme of like the Skywalker family. I like that she actually comes from nothing. That like that's one of the unexpected turns you see in the movie. Also with Snoke, many fans expected to have like a big backstory, you know, creating all these fan theories. But in reality, he's just a character who needed to help the story move along.
If it's such a problem that stems from switching directors, then why does a trilogy even bother? All it does is hinder the movie and slow down the process. And either way, if a character is only good because he fills in the blanks, then he's not really a good character, he's just a good plot point.
Even though they switched, wow, what a hell of a comeback then. Because look,
And you're out of time! Well, all I gotta say is, where's C-3PO's red arm?
you ran out. Thanks for watching Pick a Side. If you guys want to get in on the debate or have something you want to debate about, let us know. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Wow, wasn't that interesting? Thank you, George and Gallo. Up next, we have Second Take with Jared Pohl, Mitchell Prescott, and Jacob Waxman.
Hello and welcome to Second Take. I'm your host, Jared Pohl, alongside Jacob Waxman. We got a controversial topic for you today. So obviously in the NBA, a lot of talk nowadays is who's the better player, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Personally, I think Michael Jordan's better, but what do you think, Jacob?
Well, I think when you look at LeBron's career so far, he's in his 15th season coming straight out of high school instead of going to college. And when you look at Jordan's career, he's already done 15 years and he retired right after his 15th year.
Well, you got to admit that he retired in his prime, so a lot of his prime years where he could have put up a lot of gaudy stats, he wasn't in the NBA. So I think his totals probably could have been higher than they are.
I think you can't really say that Jordan retired in his prime, considering when he played his last game with the Washington Wizards, he had less than 10 points that entire game. When you look at LeBron currently, he has more rebounds, assists, a higher field goal percentage, higher three-point percentage, a higher plus-minus, more playoff and final appearances.
Well, yeah, LeBron might have those stats, but one thing he doesn't have is the killer instinct. Obviously, as an NBA player, you want to have that killer instinct. I mean, you saw the NBA Finals a couple of years ago. LeBron kicked it out, and who shot the shot in the corner? Ray Allen. Michael Jordan, you call him a ball, you call him whatever you want. He has that killer instinct. He would never let Ray Allen take that shot. Jordan's taking that shot.
Well, LeBron's only getting better, and he's already 30. And when you look at that shot from LeBron, it wasn't a matter of who has the ball, it was a matter of who's open in that situation. Ray Allen was open, so he kicked the ball to him, and he ended up having a defender in his face when he shot it. The killer instinct that you're talking about from Jordan, LeBron has. When you have a killer instinct, you know where you're looking, you know who you're passing to. LeBron has more assists than Jordan over his entire career.
Well, yeah, he may be better at distributing the ball, but when you have your best player, LeBron James, he's pretty much the best player in the NBA right now. You want him to be taking that last shot. And a good enough player, I mean, you see how good he is. He's supposed to create his own shot. Jordan, no matter how he did it, he always created his shot. You saw that fade away against the Utah Jazz in the finals that he did. He always made sure that he had that last shot and he made space for himself.
The thing that's a big difference between LeBron and Jordan, obviously, is the competition and the physicality of the game. You could say that Jordan played in a more physical era of basketball due to the, less strict rules. But LeBron's easily the biggest, strongest, and fastest player on the court at all times. So to say that just because he may not have as many championships or as many MVPs or as many finals MVPs or scoring titles doesn't make him a worse basketball player. When you ask when you ask someone the question, who's a better basketball player, you're going based off of skill. LeBron, hands down, has the best skill that anybody's ever seen on the court. When people give you the argument for Jordan, they look at his championships, his MVPs, his finals MVPs. That would be who has the better legacy, not who has more skill.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I mean, yeah, LeBron is probably the best mix of physical attributes that we've seen in a while, if not ever. But, he doesn't have that all-around game. Yeah, he's good at shooting, distributing, whatever. When he gets to the line for free throws, he just can't make it. I mean, for a player his caliber, you would think that would be a really good part of his game. Jordan really didn't have that same issue. Jordan, he has Defensive Player of the Year. He's recognized for his defensive abilities. While I think LeBron, he had that one, really good block on Iguodala in the finals. He never really had like a defining moment on the big stage. Jordan, I mean, you have the flu game. You have all the shots, the buzzer beaters. I mean, he's just a more polarizing character.
Well, another difference between the two is Jordan's a born scorer. He played the position to score, and that's what he did. LeBron, on the other hand, is more of a physical, now playing the 4, so he's down low in the paint, but he's not as much of a scorer until recent years as Jordan was his entire career. Jordan needed the 1 year at North Carolina to be able to translate to the NBA. LeBron didn't need that. He was the #1 pick in the NBA draft coming straight out of high school. He was the most coveted recruit in high school history. So when you have to look at that, that also plays in the factor of Jordan played in college and LeBron played in high school and is this good.
Well, I mean, you can make the argument that Jordan could have made the jump, but at that time, jumping from high school to the NBA right away, it wasn't really like a thing. That really started with Kevin Garnett back in the day. That was obviously after Jordan, so you really didn't see that. But I think, that's the way the NBA should be, in my opinion. It's a whole separate issue, but I think that NCAA players, they should have to play not just one season, maybe 2 or more. I think really, it gets them ready for the NBA. They're a lot better physically and mentally, and I think it's just better. I think that really helped out Jordan's career because, he wasn't the first overall pick. I'm pretty sure he was taken 4. A couple guys got taken ahead of him, but I think those college years definitely helped. And I think even if he went from high school to the NBA, I think his point totals, like I said, would be even higher. And he also, he retired in the middle of his prime.
Going along with that, you could make the argument that Jordan did have a better supporting cast in Chicago, which made him overall play better. And LeBron, his best supporting cast was Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami for those years. He won 2 championships with them. Jordan won 6 in a row with virtually the same supporting cast the entire time. He had Scottie Pippen, he had Steve Kerr, he had Robert Horry. He had the entire supporting cast, Hall of Fame players up and down the board, Dennis Rodman. So when you look at LeBron's teammates now, especially this year with the Cavs, and you look at Jordan's throughout his career, there's the big difference in the role that they play compared to the amount of reps that LeBron's taken.
I think I got to disagree with you there. I think, honestly, you could say, well, maybe in the beginning of their careers, I'd say that maybe, Jordan has the edge because LeBron, his best teammate at one point was Mo Williams. But later in his career, Jordan, he was on, I guess you could kind of discount the Washington Wizards era of Jordan. That wasn't really prime Jordan. Jordan on the Bulls, he had his own team. He stayed. He didn't go anywhere. He created his own team and he made his teammates better. LeBron definitely makes his teammates better, but he had to leave Cleveland the first time to go to Miami to form a super team. Jordan, he had good teammates, but I wouldn't really call it a super team. You're not really seeing the same super teams that you see these years. Michael Jordan would never team up with one of his rivals. He wouldn't go to the Pistons and team up with that team. You didn't see that back then. I think LeBron, I wouldn't say he cheated, but he formed an all-star team pretty much twice.
Well, that makes the league that much better because that means you have tougher competition for a smaller amount of teams. So when you look at LeBron's career so far in his second stint with Cleveland, he beat the most winningest team in NBA history with Steph, Clay, Draymond, that entire cast. He beat them in the finals in Game 7 after being down 3-1 and took the trophy home. So when you look at that and you look at Jordan's era when they had the Jazz, the Lakers, the Rockets, and other teams like that, they had more competition spread out throughout the league rather than fewer stacked teams.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot less top-heavy, and I think we got to cut it there. It's been Jared Paul and Jacob Waxman on Second Take, and we'll see you next week.
That was certainly an interesting take on things. Up next, we have Ramble On with Matthew Blumenberg and Alec Oppenheim.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the series premiere of Ramble On. My name is Matthew Blumenberg alongside Alec Oppenheim, and I would personally like to welcome you to this fine program. In this show, we will discuss all the news, rumors, headlines, and history of rock and roll. In today's episode, we will discuss the soon-to-be inducted members of the 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class and the validity of their inductions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Being inducted this year is British band The Moody Blues, staples of 70s rock The Cars, jazz singer and concert pianist Nina Simone, commercial hits The Dire Straits, the influential Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and New Jersey's own Bon Jovi. So Matt, who do you think out of these inductees is most deserving of this distinction?
Well, as a guitarist, I could tell that all these inductees have their own specific elements to them that deserve to be recognized in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and certainly they're all good enough and musically commercially successful enough to be in. But I feel that the Dire Straits should absolutely be recognized in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as they blended so many elements of different genres such as rock and jazz and blues, all into their own sound that was commercially successful. So I think they should be recognized.
I agree with that. You made a lot of good statements, good points there. Maybe I would think more along the lines of Bon Jovi. Now, I personally am not a big Bon Jovi fan, but maybe based on the success he's had since the 80s, like, he is, everyone knows him. Everyone has known him since the 80s. He's been like a teen heartthrob since he was a kid. He is the most influential. Doesn't have the best variety of music, maybe. Doesn't have the most hits, doesn't have the most awards, but I think when it comes down to it, he's been so influential since the 80s, and he's has so many fans. He has like a cult.
He's an icon of the 80s rock
Exactly,
era.
that's what I'm trying to say. And like maybe that's the reason he should be in, instead of more so than these other bands.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has gathered a lot of controversy over the years by inducting artists of different genres. Do you feel that's okay?
Yeah, I feel that's okay. Like, come on, like last year they put in Tupac. Like, how could you not put him in? He's a legend. Come on, like.
Personally, I disagree. I'm more of a rock and roll purist, because I feel like if it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it should be for genres that are directly related to rock and roll, if not just rock and roll in general.
Nah. You see, some of these artists have to be recognized. Come on, like. Eventually, they have to be recognized for more than their genre. Some of them, because I understand, like maybe not techno, like doesn't belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I think rap, some of that stuff is close enough where it should be in.
Don't get me wrong; they absolutely deserve to be recognized. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's different.
There's certain criteria that you need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and some of these bands that aren't technically rock and roll, they fit that criteria and they should be in.
Yeah, I agree, but
and some of these bands, like Tupac should be in. I think he should be in, and Kiss shouldn't be in. Like, they're better than some. He's better than some of these rock and roll bands that are in.
Well, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Out of these inductees, who do you think shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, oddly enough, you said that Bon Jovi's most deserving to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I agree he should be in, but I do see a big problem with his lack of musical variety in his work. So I could see that as a reason for him not to necessarily get as much of a distinction to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do you think?
I think out of these bands, I'd probably say the Cars, because, I mean, how many hits have they had? They haven't really done much. They've done a good amount. They're definitely in the conversation to be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think they've actually done enough to be over the line to actually get in. I feel like they're just a band that you talk about, like maybe they should get in this year, maybe they should, like if it's a weaker class. This year was a good class. I don't know necessarily if they should have gotten in this year with some other bands that still aren't in.
So after the break, I will be performing the solo to the hit Dire Straits song, The Sultans of Swing. And after that, we'll be discussing and getting the opinions of our special guests. Don't go anywhere.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hill student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hill student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5.
Hi, we are here with a man who is well qualified to discuss music, Wayne Hill's band director, Mr. Paterno, and we are going to discuss all the inductees for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, Mr. Paterno, who do you think out of the inductees this year is most qualified to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It's interesting. I think everybody is qualified in their own right as artists, as people with a message. They've all had something very important to say. I mean, especially for me, growing up with people like Bon Jovi, the Cars, the Moody Blues. There's so much of my youth that's connected with their music, memories, attitudes, historic times. I think that they're all very qualified, and they each have a place in music history. And I think that's why it's important that they were all inducted.
The Hall over recent years has gotten a lot of controversy as they induct artists of different genres, not necessarily related to rock and roll. How do you feel about that?
I actually think it's great. I know they face some criticism, and you could say the same thing about the Baseball Hall of Fame. But what I think the Hall has done great as an institution and as a building, if you've been there, is they try to sensitize everyone to the importance of all music.
We discussed the qualifications of all the inductees this year. Who do you think is least qualified to be in this year?
Least qualified, I don't know that I'd answer because, again, in their own right, I think everybody's qualified. It'd be much easier to answer who do I like the most than who do I think is qualified. Does that make sense? You know, the idea of, like, if you said to me, who do you think is most qualified? Well, I don't know about most qualified, but most deserving, I'd have to go with Bon Jovi. I mean, I grew up with it. I grew up when he was big. I had a friend who used to hear his songs in his garage before he made it, you know, so it was interesting growing up, and I think that a lot of times their qualifications as artists also become their qualifications as how they affect people.
Very insightful. Mr. Paterno, thank you very much for discussing with us. Thank you. That's all we have for you tonight. The induction of these legends will take place on April 14th, and the event will air on HBO on a future to be announced date. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Ramble On.
Hello. Thank you, Matthew and Alec. That was amazing. Expect more Ramble On shows in the future. Up next, we have Eats of Wind with Andrew Hoffman.
Okay, so we're here at Muscle Maker Grill, and Alec and I are going to try the Santa Fe wrap.
Next time I see her, because Dave's kind of like, he doesn't want to get involved with her dog.
Very delicious. Matt, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's very good. It has some grilled chicken breasts. We got some turkey bacon, some rice, and some ground beans. It's very good, very moist, very full and flavored. The meat's very tender. Okay, so apart from the Santa Fe wrap, we also have some Western potatoes. So Alec and I are going to give it a try.
I don't know what happened.
Very smooth, you know, good temperatures, cooked all around well. You know, it's soft. I just think it's overall good Western potatoes. You know, they gets the job done. It tastes how it's supposed to taste, basically.
Stole the words from my mouth. It's very good.
Thank you, Hoffy. That was great. Up next, we have Addiction with Adam Lasgo and Sean Brown.
Hey man, what's up? So how's your holiday break?
That's pretty good. My mom got me one of those pre-SAT books, if you know what I mean.
Don't even remind me of that.
Well, you know what's coming up. You've been doing anything to prepare for it?
Yeah, I've been studying, but it's been pretty tiresome recently. I can't stay focused.
Yeah, that sucks, but that's what coffee's for, right?
Yeah, I can't stand coffee, but I've been using something else to keep myself awake.
Well, whatever it is, I hope it helps you pass the test, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Bus.
Oh, let's go. Oh, hey man, what's up?
Hi.
Are you ready for the SATs next week?
Yeah.
Hey man, you good there? You got bags under your eyes.
Yeah. I've been studying.
Well, don't study too hard. That's not healthy for you. If you need any help, I got you, fam.
No. I'm fine. I got it.
Oh look, it's a bus.
You go on ahead. I gotta check something. Hope this is enough.
Oh, hey man, how you doing?
Good.
How'd you do on your SATs?
Not too hard. I'll get 'em next month though.
Okay, that sucks, but in the meantime, you want to play some Xbox?
Sorry, I can't. I sold my Xbox.
Wait, what? Why?
I had to sell it so I could buy some supplies for the test.
Hey, you okay, man? You've been acting pretty strange. If you need any help, I got you, man.
Get away from me!
Jay, what are those?
You weren't supposed to see those.
So this is why you haven't been doing so well. You've clearly been on drugs. You know what that does to you. It messes you up. This is why you failed your SATs.
You know nothing about me. You know, I thought you were my friend. I think I'm just gonna walk to school today by myself.
Jay, don't go! Bus driver, wait!
Up next, we have the fashion show with Faith Blomo and Sally Matuk.
Welcome to the Fashion Show, a show that tests the abilities of teachers and students. In the next few minutes, you will see how Wayne Hill's most fashionable do when given a set of guidelines and themes to make the best outfit of what they already have in their closet. By the end of the episode, each team of 2 will be awarded a winner and the title of most fashionable. Let's meet the contestants.
Hi, I'm Sammy Torres. I'm a senior here at Wayne Hills, and I accept this challenge.
My name is Mrs. O'Keefe, and I teach English here at Wayne Hills.
Hi, I'm Mr. Grogard. I'm a math teacher at Wayne Hills.
Hello, my name is Sally Matuk, and I've accepted this challenge.
Hi, I'm Faith. Hi, I'm Fabi. And we're judges of the fashion show. I think I'm pretty qualified to be a judge. I think I'm kind of fashionable. Yeah, I guess. Me too.
I think I'm willing to dress up every day, and I think I'm gonna win against Mr. Grogard.
I'm ready to dress up every day. I'm gonna kill it.
I am absolutely prepared to dress up every day.
So for this challenge, I'm going to have to do it every single day, and I think I can stick to it as long as I get reminded every day of what the themes are.
I think that people will enjoy this challenge of us dressing up against teachers because it's entertaining. See different outfits.
I think the reaction I'll get from doing this challenge will be that most kids won't notice too much of a difference. They might notice there's a pattern that I'm doing, like all black or different colors. But overall, I don't think they'll notice too much.
I think people will enjoy the contest.
And I think people would feel weird seeing us dressing up every single day. And they're gonna ask us questions like, why are you wearing that for today?
I think personally that I'm going to win. No offense to everyone else in this challenge, but sorry, Miss O'Keefe.
First up was Blackout. I think she did good.
Yeah, I think she did pretty good.
Kept elegant and with the theme. Actually, Mr. Grogard, I mean, he had the blue tie that kind of killed the blackout theme.
Yeah, and like the gray shirt, it wasn't really fully black.
Yeah. Loved Sally's outfit. I loved Sally's outfit.
Really like elegant.
Really good and elegant.
Necklace,
Yeah, that quality stuff.
Mrs. O'Keefe, she had like a really nice shirt on. And
Yeah,
it's,
I like that
stripy
shirt.
and, like variety.
Yeah. Blackout winner, I'm gonna give it to Sally.
I'm gonna have to give it to Sam.
Congrats.
Now it's colorful. Mr. Grogar, I feel like his colors was a little generic, but I liked it.
Yeah, I liked his bright blue shirt. Miss O'Keefe had a nice neon green shirt with the colored necklace. I liked that one a lot. That was nice.
Yeah, me too. I liked how it was also really bright and neon.
Yeah, me too. Sadly, Sammy did not do this day, so the winner goes to Mrs. O'Keefe. And then what do you think about Sally, Mr. Grogard? Who do you think wins that one?
I think Sally wins that one.
Yeah, me too. Next, we have Elegant. And I think Mrs. O'Keefe's outfit is really, I really like that one. Yeah, and like the color scheme, I like that a lot.
Sally's was very, very nice. I liked hers a lot.
Yeah, I liked hers too. I liked the kind of beige look. It was real nice. Mr. Grogard, he had on the blazer, he had the tie. It was like very well put together.
Yeah.
I like that. Sadly, Sammy did not do this one again, so the winner goes to Mrs. O'Keefe and
Mr. Grogard.
Nice job, guys. Finally, on Friday, we got to do comfortable.
I really like Sally's. Hers looked very comfortable in those sweatpants and really stylish.
And it was so stylish. It was comfortable and stylish. Mr. Grogard repping Wayne Hills with his outfit.
Mrs. O'Keefe also repping Wayne Hills.
We see you.
Sammy looks very comfortable in her sweatshirt.
Yeah, and she also put it together really well. I like that one. So the winners, I think, of comfortable are going to go to Sally
and Sammy.
Congrats, guys.
I'm prepared to dress up every day because I know that I'm going to look the best.
Now, when we tally up all the votes, the winners are Sally and Mrs. O'Keefe. Thank you, Mr. Grogard and Sammy, for trying out the game, and we hope you enjoyed the fashion show.
Well, congratulations to Sally and Miss O'Keefe. Up next, we have Getting to Know Your Teacher with Vinny Venturelli and Jake Garwich.
What's your favorite late night snack?
Favorite late night snack? I have to say with Fritos. Fritos, very healthy. Fritos, definitely.
Okay. What's your best advice someone gave you?
To simply work harder. Stop complaining and work harder.
Okay. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
Oh, bold. I have to go with Rocky Road.
Favorite part of the day?
Probably leaving work. Not trying to say like I don't enjoy my job, but going home to see my daughter after a day of her being at daycare, me being in school, us being reunited.
Favorite place to go on vacation?
Probably upstate New York to the Adirondacks, like a nice lake, foresty type situation.
Who was your idol growing up?
I guess my idol, as far as someone who like I didn't know, would have been Larry Bird, Boston Celtics basketball legend. As far as someone I actually knew that I looked up to, probably my father.
Favorite movie?
This is a tough one. Big movie fan. A lot of movies out there. You got your comedies, your dramas. I have to go with something with the great Daniel Day-Lewis. Probably There Will Be Blood. Kind of dark.
Favorite memory as a child?
Probably something to do with playing sports. I played a lot of soccer as a kid. Playing high school. I mean, I guess as a kid, I was in high school. You're still a kid, so winning league titles, county titles, state sectional titles, playing high school soccer was a pretty good memory as a kid.
Favorite singer or band?
Singer or band? Bruce Springsteen from New Jersey.
If you had to choose a different career, what would it be?
If I didn't have to worry about money, I'd probably work for some sort of nonprofit for a cause that I supported. But if I had to pay my bills, which I do, I'd like to be a lawyer.
If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra hours?
Probably get in better shape and learn a second language. I'm very poorly familiar with a couple languages, but I certainly am not fluent.
How do you relax after a long day?
Just probably chilling with the family.
Sounds fun.
Yep.
What's the best way to start a day?
Waking up and not having my 2-year-old daughter flip out at like 5:30 in the morning, thus making getting off to work complete mayhem.
Do you have a lucky number?
I guess 8. I don't really, but if you ask me, if I had to say, I'd say 8.
Do you know why?
I don't know. That's like that was like my like jersey number growing up, stuff like that. But I mean, nowadays, they're all pretty good.
What are 3 words that describe you?
Opinionated, determined, and compassionate.
Nice.
That's one of those common app questions that we get for when we do college recommendations. It's a good one.
If your life was a book, what would the title be?
Oh man. Oh yeah, The Shale Chronicles.
Why did you want to become a teacher?
When I graduated college, I thought I was going to go to law school. I didn't have really much of a plan, and my old high school soccer coach offered me a job coaching my high school JV team, and I really liked it. I really connected with the kids. I found I was able to relate to the kids and communicate well with them, and I figured you can't make a living just coaching high school sports, so I would go into teaching, and here I am in my 20th year at Wayne Hills.
What's your favorite holiday and why?
Probably Christmas. I'm not religious. I don't celebrate it like that, but it's kind of a nice time of year. Most people are kind of in a good mood. We get a nice long break from school, so I'd say the whole Christmas season.
Get to hang out with the family.
Hang out with the family, relax a little bit. Absolutely.
Nice presents. Would you rather only remember the old memories and not be able to create new ones, or not be able to remember the old memories but be able to create new ones?
It'd be tough to have my memory erased, so to speak, but I guess I wouldn't want to live just in the past, so I guess I'd like to be able to create new memories, and I guess forget them pretty quickly, but at least have some good moments still coming forward, rather than just sitting around. It's like people who talk about when I was a kid. When back in my day, I don't want to be that guy. So
you like to live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
Got it.
Thanks, guys. I just learned a lot of good-to-know stuff. Thanks for watching our new show. This is the end for today. Hope you enjoyed. Follow us at Wayne Hills TV on Instagram and Twitter.